Hello everyone, welcome to the February 2022 version of Onward Lebanon. Onward Lebanon is a television show airing monthly on the Lebanon channel and is designed to provide our viewers with an insight into Lebanon City Schools, our students, our people, and our programming. I am Isaac Sievers, the Superintendent of Lebanon City Schools. I'm excited to join you in this programming each month to highlight some of the amazing programs and people that make Lebanon City Schools a great place to work and to learn. This year, we're continuing to ask our staff and our students and our community to rally around the idea of what unites us. There's so much that divides us in the world today, but what makes Lebanon special, what brings us together, we believe that happens around our mission of building community. Beyond the Lebanon, the traditions, the community, the downtown, the architecture, people make Lebanon City Schools special. People make Lebanon special. So as we focus on this vision and this mission of building community, we want to highlight some of those programs that focus internally and externally to build community throughout our area. We create communities in our classrooms and programs, and today I'm excited to highlight one of those communities that's thriving in Lebanon and an excellent example of what it looks like to build community in our schools. Tonight we're going to host our second Community Builders Recognition Program. With more signs be popping up around the community, highlighting those staff members and those students that are doing a great job of what it exemplifies building community. We'd hope that you would see those signs around the community. We'd hope that you would see those signs and celebrate with those people who are being recognized. While I was researching Lebanon City Schools, one of the programs that really drew my attention and the attention of my family was the Spanish Immersion program. We believe it was something that was special. It set Lebanon apart. We were excited to learn more about it. And in my first several months of being here, I am excited for what this program is, what it means to our school district, what it means to our community. And today we're going to take some time focusing on Spanish Immersion. So previous Superintendent Todd Yohe had this vision to create this program. I'm not exactly sure where it came from and what was born out of, but the vision was, let's create opportunities in a research-based program to bring people together to focus on something that's really going to have an impact on student achievement, on student learning, and really broaden the horizons of our students as well. So today, I want to invite in Mark Grayler, our Director of Curriculum Instruction for Lebanon City Schools, have a little conversation. You were here in the beginning, right? You were a part of this process. Tell me a little bit about what it was like, what brought Spanish Immersion to our district, and where are we in this process? Sure.
Well, Todd Yohe had been a part of bringing Spanish Immersion to Oak Hills, which was the district he was superintendent of before he was here in Lebanon.
Okay.
So he had a successful experience of starting Spanish Immersion in Oak Hills, where it is still growing and thriving, just like it is here. So we spent some time researching what Oak Hills was doing and learning about Spanish Immersion, the research behind it, the way you run a Spanish Immersion program, and then we decided to offer a pilot here. And we began our pilot 4 years ago and called it a pilot program for the first 3 years. Okay. And then after those 3 years, we decided to make it a permanent program, and so now we're in year 4.
So what were we seeing in that pilot? What was it that you were looking at to see whether this was something that's going to stay and last?
Yeah, well, we really were just trying to make sure that it fit in with what we were trying to do in Lebanon, right? And those things, like you already mentioned, are around building community, but also meeting some certain goals, like around fiscal stewardship, around making sure that students have opportunities to learn and grow. And so it wasn't so much that, we pretty much thought from the beginning it was going to be a positive thing for our students, and we've seen that happen. But we felt like it was just the right move to offer it as a pilot first, kind of on the off chance that things just didn't go the way they've gone. And so that's why we did that. And certainly there are some challenges, mostly around staffing. And so as we began that pilot program and partnered with the Ohio Department of Education to bring visiting teachers to Lebanon, as that's kind of moved forward, we've been able to continue to hire staff that is a native Spanish speaker. So
tell me a little bit about our staff. We have 4 staff members now in this program.
Right.
Where do they come from? What are some of those
experiences? We have 3 visiting teachers from Spain. So those are all native speakers, people who were born and raised and trained as teachers in Spain. And the Ohio Department of Education has a partnership with the Education Ministry of Spain to select and then offer those as candidates to us. So the department staff goes to Spain, interviews those people, sends them to us to also interview. So they go through the same process that teachers would if they weren't part of our program. And then we hire them, and then they're treated like every other teacher here in Lebanon. So we have 3 of those people, and then we have 1 teacher who is a citizen of the country, but is also a native Spanish speaker. So a U.S. citizen who's a native Spanish speaker.
So we have this vision of fiscal stewardship, right? We're going to add something that has a benefit without adding staff, without increasing that. And we also know that there's some research behind Spanish immersion and teaching students a new language at a younger year. Can you talk a little bit about some of the benefits on young learners?
Sure. We can talk about both of those things, right? Like we have to have staff in classrooms anyway, right? We have to have teachers in classrooms. So if we just choose to make those people native Spanish speakers, then we're spending the same money we would spend otherwise, right? There's a small cost for some Spanish education materials, but it's fairly nominal. The research says that younger is better. So, like, you might have tried to learn a language in high school. I think you might have tried to learn French. We talked about this
it was
before.
a failed experience at this point in time.
I actually had 3 years of Spanish in high school, and like a lot of adults who had language education as an older student, we don't really have much of that left. Right, like we can maybe recall a few words or hear something and feel like we maybe know what they're talking about, but we didn't learn it early enough. Young brains are like sponges; they soak things up, and all the research says the earlier you do it, the better. So, if we want students to be bilingual, we want students to have a chance to earn the seal of biliteracy as they graduate, and offer that as something to their future employer. You know, I can speak 2 languages. We have to start earlier, so that's why we are starting earlier.
Awesome. Besides this, kids learning Spanish and becoming bilingual, you're keyed in, you're locked into the success of our students on standardized tests, on things like that. Have we seen any benefit? Is there any comparison between these students and other students who are not receiving Spanish immersion?
Yeah, we have, and this was actually something was hard for us because the research says that achievement of students in immersion programs is fine, right? Like there's no dip in achievement. After 3 years, the achievement of immersion students is at least, and sometimes even better than non-immersion students. And it's hard to kind of take that leap of faith and trust the research when you haven't had that experience yourself. But our experience was exactly what the research said would happen. We saw a dip in achievement during the beginning part of the program, but at the end of year 3, this would have been last spring, so our 3rd graders last spring, our Spanish immersion classrooms had the highest average performance on the state reading test. So they performed better than their non-immersion peers. So we saw exactly what the research said would happen. We saw the small dip, but the dip was made up and taken care of by the end of the 3rd year.
So we're seeing a successful program that's now in its 4th year of implementation.
Right.
And the last question I have for you today is, where do you see this going? What's the future of this program, and how do we continue to expand upon it?
Sure. So so the current plan is to take the current program through 6th grade, right, in the same way we do it now. So students have English, language arts, and social studies taught by an English-speaking teacher, and they have math and science taught by a Spanish-speaking teacher. It's not a class for Spanish. It's teaching science and math in Spanish, right? So it's different than taking a world language at high school. So that's the model through 6th grade. Once students hit junior high, we'll probably be looking at some sort of elective to continue their language development. And then once we hit high school, they have a lot of options. They could continue in perhaps another Spanish elective. They could pursue a 3rd language. We know that after you speak 2 languages, learning a 3rd is even easier. And so, to be really honest, it's hard to plan more than 12 months ahead. So we really haven't nailed down what's happening for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th graders. Our oldest students in the program are 4th graders now, so we have a little time.
So we know it's coming to Barry.
Right.
And we're going to continue to review the results and see what happens in the future.
Yes, we've asked for a new visiting teacher from Spain for next year. So
that's awesome.
We'll be looking forward to receiving that person.
It's exciting. I'm excited to see the program, the benefits of the program. As somebody who is new here, it is one of those, I think, flagship programs that we have. It really defines some of the things that we were trying to do. An excellent example, and a kudos to the leadership 4 years ago that really got this born and is growing. So I want to take a brief break here. We'll be right back after this break with Sherry McHenry and one of our visiting teachers from Spain, Jose Garcia.
Right.
As we come back after the break, we'll see you right then.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Be part of the solution. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups. Find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Okay, welcome back to Onward Lebanon, a show about Lebanon City Schools, our people, our programs, and our students. I'm blessed to be joined this afternoon by Sherry McHenry, our Bowman first and second grade principal, and Jose Garcia, one of our visiting teachers here from Spain. We're just going to talk about what it looks like. You know, we've talked about the benefits of the program. We talked a little bit about the vision and the goal of it when it started. But I want to look like, what's it look like for a student every day when they walk in and out of school? And so boots on the ground. I'm excited to have you guys here. We've already talked about some great stories, and I think it'd be great for our community to learn this. So I'll start with you, Sherry. You know, this program has been in existence for 4 years now. You were there at the very beginning. Is there anything that's grown or changed as we've learned throughout the process?
Actually, it has. Our first year we started when Jose joined us and our other teacher, Lola Seda. They were teaching self-contained first grade, meaning they taught every subject area from reading in English, writing in English, to teaching math and Spanish and science in Spanish. So they were thrown into a classroom and had to teach everything. It was a great learning experience for them. It was a great learning experience for us, and we had awesome teachers and staff supporting them and helping them throughout that process. What we learned was that they needed to focus on the Spanish part of their program, and that we had experts that could teach the English and writing in our building. So we changed to a 50-50 model where one teacher taught the language arts, the reading, writing, and social studies, and then our Spanish teachers taught the math and science and language arts in Spanish. So
this seems to be working. Kids are getting both of those experience. I've been really in awe as I walk in and out of these classrooms across the district. I was telling you guys a story last week. I walked into a 4th grade classroom not knowing it was a Spanish immersion class when I opened up the door. And I was completely overwhelmed by how much Spanish was being spoken by 9 and 10-year-old kids. So it's amazing to see what they soak up and how they grow. And I'm just curious, like, what does a typical day look like for these kids that are in these Spanish immersion programs? Does it look like a traditional 1st or 2nd grade classroom?
It very much does. And I think, too, we're amazed to see what our 1st and 2nd graders can do with the language as well when you walk in, as young as they are and as early as they are learning it. But their day is very typical. They start out, if they're starting in that Spanish classroom, they're doing some daily activities with the calendar. They're singing songs. They're learning the days of the week and the months of the year in Spanish, and what they're hearing is delivered in Spanish, and what they're saying and talking is mostly in Spanish. They're reviewing math skills, things that they've done previously through adding, counting by 2s, 5s, 10s, hundreds, coins, identifying coins in Spanish, and shapes, things like that. So that's kind of their morning routines. They do that very frequently. But they're also building interpersonal skills during that time. They're asking each other questions. They're talking about themselves. They're introducing themselves. So they're building those interpersonal skills with their classmates during that time as well. Those are things you see in the classroom as well, regular classroom, but they're doing it in Spanish. Then they move into some math activities that are, their content is written in Spanish, the teacher is delivering it in Spanish, and the same with the science material and some Spanish language arts. What you also see is that the teachers are teaching about 90% of their day is in that Spanish language. They're talking in that Spanish, through delivering instruction through Spanish, but they're also maybe clarifying some content on occasion, some vocabulary words or directions in English to help make that language comprehensible for students. The other half of the day, the students are in their English classroom learning, reading and writing just like the rest of our students. But activities, as far as what you see them doing, similar activities to what a regular classroom would look like, but it's just delivered in Spanish, and they're building those language skills.
I think that's the thing that's amazing as you see this. Like, I was in awe. I was lost, right? I didn't take Spanish in junior high or high school. Took French. It didn't do me any good to know French when I walked into that classroom. But the kids were clued in. They were keyed in. It was amazing, the attention that they had. I've also been really overwhelmed and excited to see the interaction between the teachers and the students. Right? They built a great bond and relationship. This program's all about building community. That's what we talk about here with Onward Lebanon. And so I got to see that when our 4th grade students came to the board meeting, and they were so thankful for their teacher. They were so appreciative of their teacher. They talked about what they learned in that program. And it wasn't just reading and writing. It wasn't just math and science. They were learning some excellent skills and some benefits. And so, are you seeing any other benefits or any other, good things coming out of this program that you want to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only are our students building that Spanish language, but they're also learning and understanding and appreciating more of that Spanish culture. I think because we have those native Spanish-speaking teachers in our classroom, naturally things happen in the classroom that allow our students to understand more about that Spanish culture. They do activities, they participate in exchange activities with schools in Spain, and other things that just naturally happen day to day that allows them to grow and develop an understanding for that culture. Here to talk about a little bit more about that and who can give some examples is Jose Garcia.
Yeah, he's living it every day, right? You're living it every day. You've been doing it since the very beginning, correct?
Yeah.
So before we get into that a little bit, can you tell me about what it was like to come to Lebanon, Ohio? You have family here. What has this experience been like for you?
So I have no family in Ohio, nothing in Ohio. I was an exchange student back in the day in California, so I really got very connected with the American culture, with the country itself. So I always wanted to have this experience here. So when I first came to Ohio, I should say I ended in Ohio just randomly. It wasn't in my plans, but here we are.
But here we are, right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
When we first go to Lebanon, like small town, big school, the biggest difference was how we teach in Spain, how we teach how you guys teach in America. We had to get used to the style, get used to the ways you guys do things. That was the biggest difference.
Talk to me a little bit about what experiences kids are getting here, right? What's the culture that you're teaching them? What do they want to know about Spain also?
So they ask you all kinds of questions. I mean, kids, they ask questions all the time. They ask you about sports. They ask you about soccer in Spain is a big thing, so they ask you a lot about soccer. They ask you about food. They ask you about many things. One thing that we do every year is we have the school that I used to work in Spain, we do activities with them through the year. So since I'm here, we have shared with them videos of, in my case, Bowman. We made a video of Bowman with the students here showing the building and describing the building in Spanish. We sent that video to Spain, to the school in Spain. They saw it there and they sent their video of the school there. So when the students here saw the school in Spain, they were amazed because it's right across the beach. So they all wanted to go to that school and they were all jealous because they're across the, right across the beach. Another activity that we did during COVID, we did like Zoom conferences with them. So we'll set up a Zoom conference with students here and students in Spain, and they will have a chance to, chat a little bit.
Yeah.
Last year we did a research about important or famous people. So students here did a research about Spanish important people, if you want to call it like that. Students in Spain did a research about American famous people. So, for example, here the students here will do a research about Spanish president or Enrique Iglesias or people like that. Kids in Spain, students in Spain will do about President of the United States or about Neil Armstrong, things like that. So those are also good ways to connect and have the extra cultural activities with the students.
Yeah. I am one of those things I continue to learn more about the program and continue to be in awe, because what we're providing our students with are opportunities to see the world in a much different way, right? To experience education in a different way. We are very fortunate to have you here on our staff. Your wife is on our staff too,
yes,
correct?
She's in third grade now.
In third grade, right? And so we have your family here. Hopefully this has been a great community for you to live in and be a part of. We are honored and blessed to have you a part of our school community. I think these relationships go a long way when we talk about a goal and a mission of building community, right? We're exposing our kids to things like these Zoom conferences and the ability to see Spanish schools, and we're opening up a whole new world to them. Yeah. And I think those are great. Beyond the test scores of math improvements and the things that we're achieving academically, we're also building community within ourselves, within our schools. They love you. The kids love you and your wife. They love their teachers. But we're beginning to see how we can build community with people outside of our buildings. And so thank you so much for what you do. Thanks for being willing to talk to me today and give me a glimpse into a day in the life of students. This is a great example, and I told Mr. Grayler this. It's one of the flagship programs that we have at Lebanon City Schools. Governor DeWine and his staff want to come and see what Spanish immersion is like. This is something that's supported by the Ohio Department of Education, and they want to come and see what's going on here. Senator Portman is excited to come and see what's going on in our buildings, because this is one of those things that is something that we're doing well and we're doing different than other people. And so thank you for being a part of that. Thanks for being willing to try something 4 years ago that might be, at the time, seemed a little bit scary and out there, but it's been very successful. And so as we continue to look at building community, as we continue to look at our mission as a district, this is just one of those examples of what it's like to live and work and learn in a place that has a whole child perspective, that wants to build something more than just test scores and results. And you're doing a great job doing that. So we want to thank you for being with us today to share about this program. Thanks for being in our school district. You told me earlier this was only supposed to be a 1-year thing, and here you are 4 years into it.
And with a kid born here just a few months ago. So this is big.
We're excited. We're excited to have you. We're glad you're here, and we're excited to be a part of something special for our community. We want to thank you for joining us today on Onward Lebanon. Thanks for the support you provided Lebanon City Schools. I want to thank Joe Hackman with the Lebanon Channel and his support of this programming. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Look out for those white signs that say a community builder lives here, because we're trying to celebrate these things not only in this program, but in the lives of the kids and the staff that we have, and saying they're going above and beyond to build community, to exemplify what it's like to be a Lebanon City Schools employee or student. Thank you very much. Have a great day.